Warning: Murderzine is a true crime channel that contains graphic content that may not be suitable for all ages or sensitivities. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 5, John Paul Phillips, Unearthing a Monster. North of Carbondale, near the small town of Elkville in southern Illinois, lies a tranquil area popular with fishermen seeking to get away from it all. Elkville, with its population barely reaching 1,000, was not always so quiet. About 40 years earlier, it thrived thanks to the coal mining industry to the west. Strip mining, a method of extracting coal near the surface, left behind vast pits when the industry dried up. Over time, these pits filled with water, becoming serene lakes, healing the scars left behind. On the morning of November 11th, 1981, a local couple set out to fish at one of these abandoned mine pits. The crisp fall day was bright and inviting as they arrived at the water's edge. While the man unloaded their equipment, his wife wandered closer to the water. Her scream shattered the calm moments later as she stumbled upon a grim discovery, a body floating face down near the shore. Frightened, the couple raced to Elkville to notify authorities. Law enforcement arrived promptly, recovering the nude body of a young woman from the water. No clothing or belongings were found nearby, heightening suspicions of foul play. The woman, estimated to be in her 20s, was stunningly beautiful, with long brunette hair, striking blue eyes, and an elegant appearance that suggested she would have been memorable to anyone who met her. A brief on-site examination by the coroner revealed deep discoloration on one side of her head, indicating severe blunt force trauma. There was no sight of the murder weapon in the immediate area. The sole object of any curiosity was an empty beer bottle with its top screwed back on. Investigators were left grappling with grim possibilities as they linked the case to a series of unsolved murders in Jackson County, including the recent rape and strangulation of a Southern Illinois University co-ed. The proximity of the mine to Carbondale and the victim's refined appearance suggested she could be another co-ed targeted by a serial predator. An autopsy confirmed strangulation as the cause of death. A thick rope or belt had been looped so tightly around her neck that it fractured her bones, cutting off air and causing her to choke to death. Evidence of 3 hammer-like blows to her skull painted a picture of brutal violence. These injuries were inflicted before the strangulation, likely hastening her death. The coroner's estimate placed her death within 12 hours of the body's discovery, meaning a missing persons report had likely not yet been filed. Investigators checked local police records and canvassed the SIU campus, but no one matching the victim's description had been reported missing. As detectives extended their search to Carbondale, they visited hotels, confident such a striking woman would have been noticed. Their persistence paid off when a Holiday Inn employee recognized the description. The victim was not a guest, but a waitress at the hotel restaurant named Joan Wetherall, who hadn't shown up for work in nearly 2 days. Joan Wetherall's family confirmed her identity. She was 30 years old, but looked younger. Formerly an SIU student, Joan was described as poised, kind, and self-assured, qualities that made her untimely death all the more tragic. Tracing Joan's last known movements revealed that she had left work around midnight on November 10th. She stopped at a couple of local bars, and patrons at the second bar recalled her declining a ride home. Joan lived only a few blocks away and chose to walk, cutting through an alley around 1 or 2 a.m. From that point, her fate became a terrifying mystery. Investigators scoured the mine area for clues, enlisting the help of Joan's friends and family. They searched access roads, ditches, and dead-end tracks, but no trace of Joan's belongings. A coat, corduroy pants, sweater, or maroon purse was found. Rural residents were alerted to report anything unusual, but no leads surfaced. Even a $15,000 reward failed to yield results. 2 weeks later, a break came in an unexpected way. A man scavenging through a roadside rest area's trash near Crab Orchard Lake discovered burned papers and the remnants of a purse. Among them were fragments of an ID bearing Joan Wetherall's name. Police found additional evidence nearby, including pieces of rope, one tied in a noose, and an empty beer bottle with its cap screwed back on, similar to one found near Joan's body. Investigators pursued this new lead to a rundown hotel nearby, but came up empty-handed. Winter arrived and the trail once again went cold. In early 1982, a new attack reignited the case. A bank teller was accosted by a broad-shouldered man in Carterville, just a block from the police station. Her attacker attempted to force her into his truck, but fled when she kneed him in the groin and escaped. The intended victim ran to the police station and alerted authorities. After a short chase, police apprehended John Paul Phillips, a 29-year-old with a history of violence against women. Convicted in 1976 for kidnapping, drugging, and raping a camper, Phillips had been paroled after serving only 4 years of a 24-year sentence. Phillips' arrest for the Carterville assault suggested a possible connection to Joan Wetherall's murder. However, no direct evidence linked him to the crime, and the case remained unsolved. In 1984, a breakthrough came from within the prison system. Thomas McCabe, a fellow inmate, shared a cell with Phillips and claimed Phillips had confessed to Joan's murder. According to McCabe, Phillips admitted abducting Joan as she walked home, raping her, and striking her with a hammer before strangling her with a noose. He then washed her body with a garden hose and, by glow of the car's headlights, dumped it in the flooded mine pit. But the body did not submerge, so Phillips entered the water himself to push it in deeper. McCabe's story gained credibility when he mentioned details that had never been made public, such as the hammer blows to Joan's head. Investigators uncovered additional evidence, including hairs found in a car Phillips' wife had lent him on the night of the murder. These hairs matched Joan's, strengthening the case. Further connection was found when it was discovered that Phillips was a regular beer drinker who preferred the brand left near the dump site and at the rest stop. In 1986, nearly 5 years after the crime, Phillips was indicted for Joan Wetherall's murder. During his trial, McCabe recounted Phillips' chilling confession. The courtroom was tense as McCabe detailed the brutal sequence of events, describing how Phillips' maniacal laughter punctuated his horrifying account of the crime. Phillips remained impassive through much of the trial, but his composure snapped during McCabe's testimony. In a shocking turn, Phillips jumped to his feet and produced a makeshift weapon, a pipe containing a shotgun shell, which he aimed at McCabe. Chaos erupted as bailiffs tackled Phillips, disarming him before he could fire. The audacious act highlighted Phillips' dangerous nature and added weight to the prosecution's portrayal of him as a violent and remorseless individual. The zip gun's presence in the courtroom raised serious questions about security, as Phillips had smuggled it from his cell, past guards, and into the trial. The incident reinforced the jury's perception of Phillips as a cold-blooded killer. On October 9th, after weeks of testimony, the jury found Phillips guilty of Joan Wetherall's murder. While there was insufficient evidence to convict him of sexual assault, the murder conviction alone was enough to warrant the death penalty. During sentencing, the prosecution described Phillips as a human being in form only, a monster and a butcher of human beings. Though he was sentenced to death, John Paul Phillips would not live long enough to be executed by the state of Illinois. He died in 1993 of a heart attack while still on death row for the murder of Joan Wetherall. The story does not end there, however. In 2001, the body of John Paul Phillips was exhumed, and a portion of his femur was collected to compare against DNA evidence in an unsolved murder case, also from 1981. The DNA did not match, and he was cleared in that case. However, in 2008, advancements in DNA technology linked Phillips to 2 additional murders from the 1970s. These breakthroughs were made possible by the development of more sensitive DNA analysis techniques that allowed for the examination of degraded biological material. Investigators revisited old evidence collected from Kathleen McSherry's 1976 murder, where DNA from skin cells found under her fingernails provided a match to Phillips. This critical discovery connected him definitively to McSherry's brutal stabbing and sexual assault. Similarly, investigators re-examined the case of Teresa Clark, murdered in 1975 in an attack eerily similar to McSherry's. Though no DNA evidence directly tied Phillips to Clark's murder, the similarities in method and his prior confessions to McCabe left little doubt among authorities. Phillips had confessed to both killings while in prison, and the DNA match in McSherry's case bolstered the credibility of his admission regarding Clark. These technological advancements not only confirmed Phillips' role in the murders of McSherry and Clark, but also underscored the importance of preserving forensic evidence. The ability to reanalyze old evidence with modern tools brought long-awaited closure to the families of these victims and highlighted Phillips' role as a serial killer. For law enforcement, these cases demonstrated the evolving power of forensic science in solving crimes long considered unsolvable. The story of Joan Wetherall's tragic end and the relentless pursuit of justice underscores the necessity of vigilance, the importance of advancements in forensic science, and the enduring strength of those who seek the truth. You have been listening to Murderzine, true crime stories inspired by my personal collection of detective magazines. Please like and subscribe to hear more as episodes are released. Visit Murderzine.com for our links and contact information or to submit story ideas. Thank you for listening. Stay safe out there.